Hey everyone, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Monster Train run. So I'm starting to feel the difficulty at Covenant 1 is too easy. Like I've learned enough about how the core units work that I'm gonna go ahead and go up to my highest Covenant level that is currently unlocked. So we've been doing rank 1, so we are now going to add a dead weight, a dead card to our starting deck. Battles are going to have more enemies, bosses have a little more attack, battles have a few more enemies, and we get an additional bad card. We're going to go with Umbra Hellhorn today, because I haven't won with that combination yet, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so we have a really interesting set of starting cards. So we have something that is going to give us morsels, and then applying Perils of Production on morsels is very strong because it gives you instant energy without the downside. And we have a lot of rage buildup. That being said, we are in a little bit of a weird position where we have some severe energy problems early on. It's going to be hard to cast Ritual of Battles until all our primary units are already deployed. Shade Lamp is interestingly, but I think Mind Jax is just going to give us a better setup, especially if we get Monstrous. Yeah! So having extra room on the middle floor means that we can play this monstrous creature and then also potentially still be feeding it morsels. I think that is our short-term plan. And let's go to battle. Enemy units appear on each floor. The Pyre will take some damage for doing that, but I will absolutely take the money here. We're probably looking to set up on the middle floor. There's a decent amount of rage going on here, though. This rage does make a lot of things quite awkward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, what am I doing? This rage is way worse than the enemies appearing on every floor is now not giving time for the rage to dissipate. Which I really don't like. And this thing has 20 health is such an awkward number. Ugh. So we can do something like this. That keeps you alive. I can gain instant energy by putting this on you. You're going to die, so the downside does not matter. That allows me to do both of these other actions if I'd like. So I can Rage 6 you, and Train Steward dies anywhere that I place it other than floor 1. Oh man. Floor 1 was the play here. So I should have set this up on floor 1. I've only taken 2. I just feed all of these things to the Pyre, take considerable Pyre damage, and maybe torch some of these the next turn. I played this very terribly. Very, very terribly. And you have to own up to your mistakes if you want to get better at a game like this or slay this Pyre. You can't just try to justify a round. You need to really, really, really accept when you've done something poorly and try to learn from it. Gold matters. Let's do this, and then let's try to figure out what to do here. I think the damage shield plus a couple of morsels is pretty strong. We're looking for more damage steal and life steal in order to have our best chance at beating the boss. The Brief Respite is great for us. I have 1 damage shield, which saves me 2 damage. So the question is, do I want to save this for life, or do I want to try and fish for some tasty morsels? I think I want to try to fish for some tasty morsels and see what we can do. That one's not great. That one, again, is not great. Let's try this one. Alright. Not the best all in all here. Definitely would be lying if I said I wasn't a little worried about how much fire damage we are going to take in this fight. So you are getting torched, so you don't heal the boss. We're only dealing 5 to the boss as of right now. Let's see what morsel I get and make a decision from there. So this is going here. I would like to be able to like get another hit or two on the boss. Which is probably going to mean playing a train steward in front here. Which means that is eating that instead of our creature, but that's okay. You can have a little bit of rage. You're dying anyway. The downside is not bad. Alright, how much are we doing to the boss? Boss is dead. Fantastic. Alright, that was not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be for how poorly I played that fight. Ooh, Lifesteal 3 is interesting. I've really liked Primal Dust in other runs. Like, what are we doing so far? Like, as of right now, we're basically all in on powering up one large creature, and I would like things that will keep it alive. So Immortal Trade and Primal Dust both work towards that. The issue is that if we Immortal Trade our big bad guy so that it gets to heal itself up, the Ember Drain will have a real downside. So accordingly, I think I'm going to go with Primal Dust here. I can see myself wanting Molten Imp for some sweep ability. This is like not the sort of unit that I really wanted here. I would want something big and beefy that I could power up and like help hold another floor. So I'm probably going to go right, take a draft pick, and power up the unit, but let's take a look at the next floor. Yeah, next floor, I'm probably taking a unit and an artifact. Yeah, let's get a more powerful unit here. So I have 7 space on my middle floor right now, which means I can play Penumbra and something behind it that's 2, while still eating. Or I could play something like Alpha Fiend plus Penumbra on the same floor and then not do morsel things. I think I'm going to try to use Alpha Fiend to hold a different floor. Yes. I will absolutely take some rage on you. I will also absolutely take the damage shield on you. And now let's start purging some of our Train Stewards and Shade Splitters early on. Like, I think we just have too many of these. It's probably a better card than Train Steward in a lot of situations, but before I have some more units that can do a decent amount of attack damage, I really see having to use the Train Stewards as essentially a damage shield. That's how I'm viewing them right now, so I think they're more valuable than having a high density of morsels. How do I feel about armor 10 right now? My Penumbra has Trample, which is not great versus armor. I also am not super confident about my deck ability. I think I'm going to pass on this trial. And we'll see if that feels like a mistake. Alright, so you start with some damage shield. So I think I'm going to put you in front, you behind. Maybe that's not true. Like, having these on the same floor means that I can't eat morsels with any of my good creatures. Let's start trying to set up a top floor with you where you eat my best morsel each turn. And I don't want to have to use energy next turn to purge that, so let's do this. Alright. Oh, am I really not getting that? It seems that I am really not getting that. And maybe I should have, like, inversed the order of these so that this had the ability to, like, deal trample damage for situations like this. I still wouldn't have gotten there this turn, but it's something to think about. Alright, what are we doing with this morsel? Energy, so it doesn't really matter where I put it. It has the same effect anywhere. Let's put this here. If I add another 10, that's 32 damage. We can get energy so I can play out all of these train stewards. So the question is, how do I want to play them out? Probably 2 of them on floor 1. And then as far as morsels go, you're where I feed multiple morsels when I get them in a turn, which is somewhat likely to happen next turn. This train steward still lives. Let's just throw the train steward in front of the bus here and let it die. Maybe not. Not sure about that play. We're getting a Weight of Contrition added to our deck. Oh, sorry, it's called Sinner's Burden, this one. This one doesn't do me damage, so I don't super care about it. So I have not enough energy to play both this and this. So what is the most valuable? Damage shield right now is worth 28 damage. The rage is worth more than that over time. But I also get morsels here, and then I can also play 2 other cards. So I think that's going to be worth a decent amount. Yeah, that's worth a damage shield. That's fantastic. So now we can nuke you so I don't get another Sinner's Burden. And then I can build up this creature a little bit, while also purging this from my deck. Okay, yep, definitely like that. Alright, so easy play is nuke stuff on this floor and not worry about the rage, just so I only have to fight the boss on its own. We can get some bonus energy by just letting you die, and that allows us to just play one of these out and get my rage going. I guess technically, no, this thing has spikes, so it is worth it to put it on my most powerful unit. Okay, like we're good to go here. I didn't take any fire damage there, so like maybe I should have gotten more aggressive and done the armor 10. The Morsel Miner is a very tasty treat, but I don't know that I'm doing well enough on energy when I have like 2 Ritual of Battles that I want this right now. I think I would rather have the option for more damage shields, which are a bit more flexible. Are we doing this Molten Imp thing again for more sweeping? Slash a weird damage shield? I think I am. It's possible Hornbreak is better, to just give myself better flexibility versus heavily shielded units, which are good against Penumbra. And to a lesser extent, also pretty good against Alpha Fiend. Yeah, I talked myself into that. We'll want to improve that at some point to increase the numbers on it so that we have a better chance at one-shotting enemies with it. We don't get the opportunity to do that on this floor, though. Yes, I would like that very much. Morsel Master plus increased floor size seems like a great combination. Well, we have found an iceberg. We're definitely going to take one of these two. I need to think about it for a second. So I already have +2 capacity on the middle floor, so I can change that into +3 capacity, which definitely will be relevant as Penumbra grows in size. But if I just take +3 to a random floor, anytime that lands on the middle floor, we have a disgustingly powerful fight. So it's like consistency versus highest upside. I think I'm going to take highest upside. Tea is delicious. Side note, not related to Monster Train. Alright, Explosive Sigil is like the least scary of the things we can get off of Daedalus. Okay, so where are we starting to set up? In the short term, if we want to let this rage dissipate a little bit before we start dealing with it. Oh shoot, this is Morsel Master, not Morsel Minor. I didn't consider that when I made my choice. I made an error. I think it's okay. I think we'll start setting up on this floor. We end up getting a very good turn here in terms of like our energy efficiency. The rage on you with trample is pretty disgusting. Alright, so Alpha Fiend really needs to go to the top floor here. I think it's too much damage to just set it on the bottom floor here. It gets a pot shot at the boss this way. I can make a copy of this and call it a turn. My Penumbra takes way more damage than I would like it to. But I believe we just picked up lifesteal for it. So as long as I keep it from dying, I'm in good shape. So we can torch this to save 2 stacks of damage. And then we're probably just going to Primal Dust for the full 4 here. Although, actually Train Steward in front is better. Train Steward will exactly die. And then I can do a shield for X equals 3, which will be better for later. Alright, good play, good play. I lost some Swedish fish. I'm not exactly going to claim that Swedish fish are delicious. They're certainly... That doesn't make morsels. This is an awkward thing. I don't have anything that's dying currently. I can feed you down here to get some bonus energy. Then I have 4 energy instead, making Primal Dust or Ritual of Battle better. The rage stacking up is pretty absurd here. But again, I'm getting another damage shield next turn. Like, getting the rage to stack up so that I kill this as well is pretty good. Well, okay, so I guess I'm adding 6 rage, which is adding 12 damage. So that's 27 damage on that back unit, not a death to that back unit. If I play Train Steward here, it does not die. And so some of my morsel stuff is worse next turn. This specifically, I'll have to play it on 3rd floor instead. But I think I'm okay with this soaking up damage, and then I'll get my rage going here. We'll play Primal Dust next cycle through the deck. So, grovel is happening here, so I can feed you some goodies. And now what is happening? You're taking 13. I do not like taking that much damage. So let's nuke one of you. Well, yeah. Alright, we saved a little bit of damage there. And it's possible I should have just torched more things on this floor. We're hoping to get a damage shield morsel or something like Primal Dust in this turn cycle. Yeah, very happy with this. I think we're going to go with 3 shields here. It's kind of awkward that we drew both Ritual of Battles in that hand, because we would have loved to draw one in the next turn. Boss is very much not dead. We can probably do a decent amount, though. So, like, this is our only thing we have to spend energy on. You're probably just going to take a hit from the boss rather than be eaten, if I'm being honest. So, like, this can happen, and that can't happen as well now. Alright, so it was better to play the Molting Imp and then eat this on this floor. So, the Ember Drain does not matter if the units are not dead, or not dying. So I can do a little bit more damage here by stacking up some Rage. In which case I also could have played the Molting Imp. Alright. Not an optimally played turn. I should have put one of the morsels up on floor 3. Alright. How are we doing? You're only taking 43 right now. Not the best. So each hit I do is 21 more damage. Pyre's taking a lot. So if I play this, I get 12 additional damage, then 10 additional damage. That's 22 additional damage. Every morsel or other thing that I play in front of this is worth 21 damage. And this is worth a touch more than that as well. We would love a damage shield one. And nope. So you can deal 5 damage. You... not happy with this fight. Pyre takes a lot of damage. I do not believe that the Pyre is dead. But it's bad. Oh no, Pyre is dead. Ooh, that was rough. What's our recording time at? 23 minutes? Yeah, let's figure out what I did run wrong here. So, where did I go wrong? Why did I die? So, errors I made. I mixed up Morsel Master, and I think Morsel Maker is the name of the other one. So I evaluated a pick poorly. I think that was a big mistake, and I also made a small error in placement during that fight. Alright, you know what, I'm not happy with like that being a daily run. We did not get far enough in. Let's continue this. I don't know whether or not I'm gonna make this the norm. Like, where I just like say, alright, this was a half an hour long episode and that is what it is. But let's try this again. Like, I am having some difficulties with the Umbra. Alright, so now we have Morsel Miners cannibalized to turn them into better units and some piercing. Rage does not decay versus armor stacks being better. Neither one of those things does anything right now, but in the long term, this is a time where I wish I had picked my unit first, or upgraded my champion first. Let's go with the Rage and see where we end up. So we have a lot of morsel-based synergy right now, so having increased floor size is probably good. But I'm really worried about like the actual factual power of my current deck. In that, like, the morsel makers are slow, the cannibalize is slow. But let's try Architect. Yes. I think you'd like basically always have to go for the first one, even if it means you take some fire damage. Alright. So we're gonna get a morsel miner, which is a great morsel. I think we're gonna start setting up our top floor and try to make our stand there. I have one more energy, so we get to torch you. I don't really care. Like, if you make it to the fire, you make it to the fire. 4 damage to the fire does not bother me at all. We're going to be looking to use spells to take out these. I say as I nuke that instead. So we're going to look to build up a very impressive top floor. But I think torching these and saving 8 damage on my top unit is going to be more important than playing out the train stewards. Next turn I can horn break you. Alright, so let's Shade Splitter. I don't care about this energy. Let's sacrifice that, get some higher quality morsels going. Delicious. Yes. Yes, the lifesteal is super clutch. And now it's a question of, like, do I want to play out a Train Steward as a roadblock on floor 1, or do I want to take yet another morsel on the top floor? I think my stand is here. I think I'm going to take as many morsels as I can. Another stack of lifesteal is, like, chef's kiss good. Alright, so I end up healing currently up here. I think I want a morsel miner as a very powerful thing here. Yeah, I even end up further ahead on health, and I will want to horn break this at some point in the next couple of turns. I have a lot of like Shade Splitter type effects that I might end up playing next turn, so let's horn break here instead. Alright. So that needs to go. Now you... Alright, what's next turn look like? Next turn is drawing some number of Shade Splitters, Cannibalize, and making of a morsel. I've dealt no damage to the boss yet. These Train Stewards are worth more on this floor. I don't think I want to fill this floor because then I can't get value out of morsels next turn. But these Train Stewards are worth a decent amount of damage. So if I have 28 life, that means that I can take 6 hits off of this, meaning that each one of these does 30 damage. Yeah, I guess it's fine. Do I have things that I can spend my energy on next turn? Torch. Yeah, maybe I should play one Train Steward here, and I can hedge towards drawing another next turn. Alright, I did not. That's okay. Alright, boss is dead. We don't need to worry. I think Primal Dust is good if we're leaning heavily on one unit. And Welder Helper is certainly okay to stack up armor on this, but like again, this is not really the sort of unit that I really want. I think I'm going to take it. I really want to play with this card, but I've never been given it an opportunity where I have a whole bunch of imps. This is like the dream with Volatile Rig, to randomize the cost of it. Alright, I've never played with Allied Construct. It seems like it's a bunch of hoops to jump through. But let's learn. Let's take it and see if it's good. I think I'm upgrading units here. I'm going right next time. So let's take another unit. Hopefully something really tanky. Well, this fits the bill as being really tanky, but it is also uncastable currently. And I don't feel like I'm strong enough where I can take a dead card for a little while. That means I'm going with Steelworker. And let's see if I'm punished by a cost reduction. I'm not. Alright, Large Stone is interesting. As is Fury Stone. We're probably putting those on the same unit. Let's go and see how crazy we can make this Allied Construct. Enemy units appear on each floor. How devastating is that? Probably pretty devastating considering that I want setup time to make this Allied Construct pop. But the creatures themselves are not that powerful in terms of damage, so I do think I can take this. We're going to try to set up floor 3 with my new robot friend on top. Yeah, so let's set you up here and start feeding you ASAP. We're not feeding you this turn, unfortunately. And that just kind of is what it is. Yeah. Let's armor you up. I need food badly. So, like, in order for you to start doing your thing, you need to eat. So, eat up, friend. Then let's figure out what we're doing from there. These center burdens, like, super suck for me. That said, let's get greedy and take this gold. And then what are we doing with this train steward? I can't play that in front to protect this. I could play it in front here and just use it to help tank, or I can purge the center's burden. But I think early on I would like some extra hits on these creatures. Yeah. Train Steward, you're gonna soak up a little bit of damage for some of my better units. So now that you've eaten, you get to attack and murder everything ever. That's good. I need to keep feeding you, though. Lifesteal is going to be disgusting. I really need more food, though. Otherwise, like, you run out of food prior to the boss. Yeah, this unit may be too many hoops to jump through, and it was just, like, a mistake to take it. That's how I am currently feeling. Like, obviously, it's pretty powerful. So I just have to keep fueling this up. I guess if I put this at the top and get it to eat a bunch. I can also play a Welder Helper here, give you some armor. But it's probably better to, like, piercing some of these away so they don't have the opportunity to fill my deck with more Sinner's Burdens. But like, I really need to feed you multiple things. Yeah, so like, have a morsel, sack a morsel, get good morsels. Alright, now we get a couple different things on you, and that means you're going to get to kill the boss at this point. Pretty handily. Oh man, we didn't even make it to Big Cool Guy. I didn't anticipate that fight being that easy. Excavated Ember is a decent way to get long-term energy in a fight, although it's a bad draw in the short term. I'm not sure that I need long-term energy right now. Let's take Packed Morsel and like try to make our Fuel Field Warrior good. Fortify versus Ritual of Battle. Ritual of Battle is a good endgame Ember sink and is quite strong. I have Horn Breaks plus Torches for damage right now. I have a little bit of extra armor. I still think the Fortify is quite valuable, especially for holding lower floors, since we don't have that many good units. I think keeping my units alive is more important than killing power currently. The Pyre health is tempting. We'll probably incidentally get that at some other point in the run, though. I think an artifact has a chance of really spinning this run. A Morsel Miner on every floor versus 2 damage whenever an enemy moves between floors. I think both of these are valuable. Morsel Miner specifically means that if I have Allied Construct on turn 1, it could start attacking. But I'm probably playing that on floor 3 to try to fuel it up. But this definitely helps with my setup and increases the overall power of my units. Whereas this helps me with all of the back units. I think I'm going to take this, but I think that's a close decision. Okay, so Morsel Maker plus Alloyed Construct is an amazing combo. I think that is how I'm going to set myself up for success. Do I break off the Pyre health to get what's inside? I'm not doing great on the Pyre health, but the coins are definitely valuable. So next time around, I probably want to be removing stuff. So I'm probably going this way next time, removing, duplicating something, getting a unit, and then I'm probably going this way afterwards. So I get Pyre health in 2 floors. Do I think I can make it through fights? Yes, I think I do. I feel more confident about the deck than I did previously. Not 100% sure, but I also get a Pyre health upgrade after this, which is like effectively like healing. Alright, the constructive explosives entering in with damage shield is definitely inconvenient. Alright, so let's plan. These units are going to die when they advance a floor, which is really what I want. The game plan was to set up my big robot man on floor 3, which honestly I still feel like is the plan. And because I think that's the plan, I am going to lean into it, even though it means like throwing something directly into the line of fire this turn. If I draw the Alloyed Construct next turn, I really want to play this up 1 floor. But I'm just going to take the guaranteed value here. Jack strips! Alright. I'm okay with taking the damage on this to set things up according to the plan, but what I didn't think about is the amount of energy required to do this if I drew them in the same turn. I have 3 energy currently, and that does not do what I want it to do. I also can't Hornbreak and kill this, so I can't play Morsel Maker out here. Meaning all in all that this turn is quite awkward. So like, I play you out. And you don't have fuel, you don't get to eat anything, you are sad. I could play the Train Steward as a shield or do piercing damage to something. The piercing damage matters a lot less when these advance a floor and just die. So damage shield it is. Alright. Things are looking okay on basically every floor. So these are uncommon or rare morsels. That's great. I value this one the least. So let's play this and cannibalize it. And then, like, really get a feel for what we can do. The damage shield is not worth basically anything on this floor. But these other stats are certainly worth things. The damage shield is worth more here, not by a lot. Like, it's only blocking 2 damage, unfortunately. So it may just be I want to leave this in the deck to redraw it later when it's more relevant. And I just want to increase your attack power. Then, Train Stewards, your time has probably passed. Let's not redraw you in the next run-through of the deck. And you technically do some other things. I don't want to give you damage shield. You can die. We may be taking space after this fight, based on what I'm seeing so far. So you need to continue to fuel up at every chance that I have to fuel you up. Like, we want to give you at least 2 each turn so that I'm banking energy for later on in the fight. You're ticking 41 currently. I am good with playing this out here and calling that a turn. Maybe I'm playing this creature wrong. Maybe this is supposed to be a floor 2 creature, and I set up like a floor 3 as the place where I make my final stand, but I do most of my damage on floor 2 using this, because I keep feeding this thing and not making the most out of having fed it. A little unsure about that. How are we doing on other floors? Doing fine on other floors. I just power you up if I torch. You're dead already. You have a damage shield. You can have 2 damage Daedalus. I really like this Jack Strips relic. This has saved us like so much damage this fight. Alright. Yeah, you have fuel 4. I would love for you. Alright. So what am I kidding? You're taking 100-something damage right now. It does not matter how many spells I cast on this floor, like, you're still gonna die. In that case, let's fortify you. I guess if I'm just going to sacrifice this, I can play it on a different floor and not give you a damage shield. Like, be good about that. Alright. Yes. Yes. And then I have 3 that I can apply a damage shield to something that should probably be to you. I don't know, you're probably healthy enough to, like, run out of fuel before the boss actually kills you, so let's go damage shields here. And, do that to just round out the turn. Alright, this run is starting out way better than last time around. Alright, so when I resolve this, I can overfill the floor. So keeping that in mind, we can like do this, and that's a pretty good turn. I didn't pay attention to how much the boss was going to take. Yeah, the boss took enough here that it is very... We're too good at killing. Too good at killing. Alright, what are we doing? Wretch is very powerful. I don't know that I have enough space for Wretch to be good. Umbra Stone is interesting. I guess I should figure out what I'm doing in terms of setup. I think I want space rather than energy. The only time I really need energy is when I draw Morsel Maker and Allied Construct in the same turn. So I'm taking energy. Taking energy means something like this would be better. Like, I haven't removed any of these yet, so I don't know that, like, Wretch is good if I'm going to be randomly returning commons. I'm going to skip there. If I'm taking energy, this becomes a more reasonable pick. It means I can take my entire turn to play it, and then hopefully also upgrade it at some point so it costs less. Yeah, I'm good with that. If I didn't get the Demon Fiend there, it's very likely I'd take space. Ooh, now I can like duplicate it after upgrading it. Alright, let's go left. I think Steelworkers are fine for the armor. Alright. That was not an upgrade. That was a unit pick. Alright. Minor whoopsie on my end. Alright, what are we removing? The answer is usually it's Train Stewards. They've just been soaking up damage so far. They have not been doing anything super relevant. Duplicating Alloyed Construct is interesting. Duplicating Demon Fiend is interesting. And then duplicating Morsel Maker. Like, Morsel Maker plus Allied Construct is a pretty good combo. I think that's like my long-term plan, and I use like Demon Fiends plus Steelworkers to hold other floors, so I'm just going to duplicate this. Like, it's just the generically solid card. Spikes. I don't think I mind spikes. Most of my units have a good amount of health, and this doesn't attack. Yeah, we're good with spikes for an artifact. Alright, so setup. I can have 6 on a floor as long as I do this. Is this setting up floor 2, maybe? I feel like this is setting up floor 2. And just, like, let them advance a floor and take a time walk. Although, like, this could be a fine floor 1. I only take 10 damage this turn. So the question is, like, what am I putting in front if I do that? I don't know, like... I can essentially defer the damage to next turn and be in a similar spot where I've also eaten some morsels. I think I want the Demon Fiend to be taking the damage. Yes. Yes. And you can hang out up here. Alright. So Demon Fiend would eat all of my energy for this turn, resulting in this creature getting away. So do I want to play floor 1 Demon Fiend and lose 75 gold? Not really. Like, it's unquestionably a better setup for later. But I think I can get greedy. Getting greedy gives me better options. So like I can cannibalize this, which is just sitting there right now, to play a few more morsels. And I could like give you life steal, or give you life steal. Yeah. So you can have life steal. You can have additional health, I think. And then it's a question of, do I want to play you? You're going to take 11 plus 8. You're actually going to take a lot of damage if I do that. But I don't think I want you up here. Like, these slots are spoken for. Yeah, it may just be you're going to do a little bit of damage on this floor, and I like nuke you instead, so you take less damage. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I hadn't been considering my jack strips in this fight. Alright, draw order has been rough. We have not drawn allied construct or morsel maker yet, which is supposed to be our entire like top floor offense. So it's definitely putting us in a weird spot. I'm not going to say bad spot, but weird spot for sure. Alright, now what? So I can keep you all from healing if I jack strips this. Or sorry, if I just kill this now. So what does this look like? Yeah, you take 20 damage. Yeah. That's worth killing you, even though you would die anyway. I wonder if our middle floor is just taking this run down if we don't draw our good stuff. Alright, so this is why we took energy. So that we can play both of these in the same turn. We also have a bonus energy. Train Steward can soak up damage on this floor and die. Ah, now it won't. Oh no, it'll die to the spikes. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. I would say our current situation is okay. Maybe not good, but okay. So, next question is, what am I doing in terms of, like, morsels versus welder helper this turn? Oh, you're just gonna get through, aren't you? Because you haven't eaten yet. Well, there is literally nothing to be done about that. How much damage is the pyre doing? The pyre is doing 30, so you are dead in 2 pyre hits. I take 10 damage. That's okay. You're dead. Armor here is good. We're going to play both of these out and figure out which one of these is better for you. This is... I will give you armor. This can be eaten on floor 1. And you know what? Have some piercing damage, just because I'm salty that you're touching my pyre. Alright, I get to accumulate some fuel by the time the boss gets up there, so like I definitely don't feel bad about my current situation. I can turn one of these into potentially another morsel. I can also just like sacrifice a creature that's down here. Actually, I have a billion energy. Or ember, sorry, don't I? So I can, like, add a morsel miner. I could sacrifice the morsel miner. But I don't know that, like, cannibalizing this is better than just accepting this. I think I am just going to... Oh, no, this is the line. Sacrifice the imp. Then get some morsels. So you all are dying to jack strips. Although I could potentially do a touch more damage to the boss if I kill you, and I have the energy to kill you. So, might as well. Might as well. Alright. Yeah, end up doing more damage to the boss. And soak up another hit, and then I'm out of... No, I'm not out of space. You can have a little bit extra life. I think I'm actually going to successfully make a stand on floor 2 without needing floor 3. Like, these subpar creatures ended up holding the floor well enough on their own. Yeah, Demon Fiend, right on time. Yeah, boss is dead. This run is a little frustrating for me because I'm trying to evaluate how good this construct is, and I'm not getting to see it in action. Rage stacks are better. That's not important for me right now. It could be important later. And missing out on 25 gold isn't that bad. I'm going to go ahead and collect this. And I'm glad I did for this reason. Void Binding is like very good when the boss shows up, but I think Feast is very good with our construct, so I'm going to go ahead and take that. Branding, right. How do I feel about that? Totally fine with something like Demon Fiend. Inferno is interesting, but I think I'm going to have things on the floors too many times. I think it's between Branding Right and Skip. I'm going to go ahead and skip. I have a decent number of 2-cost things for the first pass-through of my deck, and I'm not super confident in my deck. In my deck's ability to draw things in a certain order so that I'm not energy tight. Alright, now we need to plan out the next 2 floors at the same time, I think. I have a lot of things that I would like to remove, but the Pyre Health from over here and buying like trinkets is definitely reasonable. I also can upgrade my Demon Fiends, which are currently unupgraded. So on the following floor, I could take Pyre Health, a unit upgrade, and gold. So I could take removal now. It's awkward that the removal is paired with unit upgrades. So I could go for 2 sets of removal in a row, but then I would not be taking any of the Pyre Health. I think I'm going to go left on this floor. Like, take my Pyre Health. Order is interesting. Let's do my random event first, in case it requires gold in some capacity. Is the Bone Shine one? No, this is going to be a consumable. I think we'll stay on brand here. I think we'll stay on brand. +1 space on the floor. How do I feel about that? I think that's good. We will collect that. Like, the space lets us eat more. Ooh! Every other time that I've done this, I feel like it has collapsed immediately. We could randomly get a healing card. Yes. Yeah, okay. So I don't know like what the percentages are, but it seems like there's a chance of it collapsing each time you take things. Makes sense. Alright. Rage stacks add additional damage, plus friendly units enter with rage. Yes. The daze... Alright, we can do both of these, right? Yeah. So we'll take the bonus rage. We'll take dazing the enemy when they enter the Pyre room. Oh, it's the Pyre room, not the room below the Pyre room. There's another one that's similar to this. But it means that anything with less than 30 health that escapes up there is just instantly dead. Yeah, so this makes my Pyre worse against the boss, but better against regular enemies. I am good with that. And then, how do we feel about purging? Purging Train Steward seems pretty important. Even if that ends up spending most of my gold, I just do not have room to play them out. Armor 15. That's probably fine. It makes my jack strips worse, and it means that my jack strips don't get to just kill the sycophants when they go between floors. But I don't feel like the armor's super relevant when I'm usually hitting things in stacks of 50. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take the gold here. The sweep of the boss is going to be interesting, because I'm largely hiding behind a couple of powerful small units. Alright, turn 1 combo, here we go. So I could put all of these on the same floor, but I think this floor is just going to be all about this combination. And we'll set up something on floor 2 here to hold the ground in the meantime. Hopefully they're drawing something like a Demon Fiend this turn. Steelworker. Alright, I want more space up here. Steelworker can hide in the front here. Morsel Miner versus like Hornbreak and Torch. Alright, so you don't have armor. So I can just kill you with a Hornbreak. I can just kill you with a Hornbreak. Alright, and now I can either Morsel Miner you or Torch an enemy. You're going to have fuel, so you can attack the stuff that's here, so I don't care about you getting through. The Morsel Miner increasing this thing's stats and making it tougher might just be better. Yeah, so under normal circumstances, like all of these sycophants would just die, which is super sweet. Alright, so now you're getting food every turn, which is fantastic. So I think you need to be set up down here, and that's going to eat up all of my energy for the turn. And now I just need to be thinking about who gets armor. Probably you. You're going to get hit a whole bunch. Alright, I do like this whole multi-strike, just bleed through a whole bunch of enemies situation that's going on. Alright, is everything on top floor dead? I've not mapped that out yet. I think the back one is going to get through. Yeah, the back one's going to get through as of right now. Maybe I can do something about that. Doesn't really look like it. I want more space. Quite badly. Alright, so it's probably Demon Fiend time. I think I want you to continue to take the hits, so Demon Fiend can go to the back. And that's turn. Alright, that is way more damage to the power than I want. So, okay. This is a more interesting turn. So you have some fuel stacked up. That's good. I can eat now and then, like, cannibalize something on a lower floor to give you more fuel. That's interesting. Like, as long as you have fuel, you will, like, pretty much single-handedly kill the boss. Oh, I get... Yeah, let's do it. So let's eat those. I can send you to the Shadow Realm. That way I can play... Yeah, like, you can have a damage shield, save you a little bit. And I think your damage is worth more than your health. We save more by putting this in front here. And then I can think about, like, damage shield versus, like, horn breaking one of these creatures. It's like number of creatures that matters, because I can only kill 2 creatures with this, so maybe I should go ahead and just decrease the piercing one is the one I need to use. The torch itself is not doing a lot, and so damage shields are probably better. And maybe that should have been damage shields on the big guy up there. In retrospect, I regret that immediately. Alright, so due to the armor, I don't get to kill these things in this turn cycle. But I can do something like Welder Helper, sacrifice Welder Helper, get a whole bunch of morsels, which I get to play between first and second floor. Let's go ahead and play this. Alright, lifesteal on you is disgusting, but I don't have space! So lifesteal on you instead is relevant. Damage shield on you would be great. I'm still needing space. I like damage shield on you. And then, like, soak up a hit with that. Then I'm full on space, so I can just torch something. So, space problems are still a major concern, but it looks like that's not mattering, and I'm just getting to obliterate the boss anyway. So, like, I'm going to put this in front, and that's going to get the boss very, very close to dead. I can pierce this and kill you, which made things worse? That made things worse. So I will regen on you, and do I have space on either floor? On either? Come on. No, I don't have space for morsels. I assume the boss is dead, and we don't need to worry. Alright, you're doing work, but I don't know how I feel about you overall. The setup time is pretty high. No. This is expensive, but I think I need it. I think adding more things to my deck that aren't concerned with the morsels helps me hold the lower floors better. Alright. So are we still on the removal plan, or do I need to respect my pyre health? We did not take much pyre damage, and we're going to get pyre health here. I don't know that I need to duplicate. So I might take pyre health, upgrade, and a random event here, which means I can probably get away with going right here. I think I need to trim the fat from this deck quite badly. And I think that I have too many morsel effects right now. So I think I'm going to start with removing a Shade Splitter. And Shade Splitter versus Torch is probably pretty close, but like come the end game, these are not doing anything right now. I'm gonna click on this and see what's here. What is Double Stack going to do? Interesting things. The upgrade, the cost reduction on Crucible Extension is going to be disgusting, and I think very important. Alright, so I have a feel for what I can do now. So now that I know that, I'm going to take my Cavern event. Purge a card, gain a card. Yes. Yes. I'm going to take a torch out of the deck here. Umbra or Hellhound? Hellhorned. Umbra. Kill a morsel unit, trigger Eden and Gorgeous. Yeah. Alright, I wonder if our space issues have been fixed enough that we'll be able to go and take energy and after Fell. Alright, so as far as cost goes, I want Crucible Extension to be free. I want to play that 100% every single time that I draw it. I don't know how good this double stack is. Like, the double stack on Primal Dust is very strong. That'll still leave me enough to re-roll. Yeah, that still leaves me enough to re-roll the shop and do a cost reduction. Then the question is, like, as far as like permafrost goes, would I want that on anything? It's interesting on Feast. It's interesting on Shroud Spike. I think I'm just gonna improve a Horn Break and save some gold for later. Feel okay about the power of the run overall, but the Spell Shield is fine. The armor is fine. I feel okay about the power of the run overall, but I do not feel like I have, like, guaranteed one yet by any stretch of the imagination. Alright. The armor here is annoying because that means that the jack strips don't get to kill these units. Okay. So, Morsel Maker, you are going up on this floor to set up for later. That has priced me out of playing this Demon Fiend. So, let's start with floor 2 upgrades then. Like, do this, and not take the Rager armor this time around. Man, the armor, again, protecting this row, so the jackstrips doesn't kill everything is annoying. Alright, so, like... Oh no. A terrible tragedy has occurred on this day. Due to the Morsel Maker being played before the Alloyed Construct, these morsels are now taking up space. So, thinking with portals here, I think we need to do something like torch you so that I can make space for this. I think I need to play that here, and I need to play that this turn. Alright, now Jackstrips gets to kill you. I can Piercing away one of these, or I can play Steelworker on bottom. Piercing away one of these so that I have one less thing to think about on the top floor is probably correct. I still potentially want to play a Demon Fiend on the bottom floor, and I can Welder Helper it as well if I wait. Yeah. Yeah, alright, so let's nuke one of these. And call that good. I definitely feel okay about our situation. Yeah, alright, good with the top floor situation. Let's get this going. Let's not cast that on this floor or this floor. Let's cast this up here. And then get some morsel bonus. I don't have room up here. I have room here or here. If you're going to hold a floor by yourself, you can have the 2 damage shield ones. And then we can just send... maybe the lifesteal is better there. I do like that the morsels get a chance to chip away at these damage shields. Alright, so unquestionably, space here matters. Next. Oh, because I overfilled, that doesn't actually do anything. Well, if we keep playing space up there, it will matter eventually. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. So once I play the space increase card one more time, it does actually matter up there. Alright. That explains why something felt off to me in another fight when I thought I should have one more space than I did. Yeah, you can have this. You can have some bonus armor. As far as this like piercing and torch damage goes, I don't think it's super relevant. No, it is super relevant. If I pierce this, then you take the full wrath of my demon friend. Okay, so now I can Crucible Extension, so you can start eating more. And I can make you eat a lot. So I can trigger the eating, then Morsel Miner in this, Shade Splitter in, maybe not that, that may go to a different floor. Put in that. Does Lifesteal need to go somewhere else? Lifesteal on you is pretty good for the next round. But I can make my entire stand based on you alone now. How much health does it get? Like 1200? I'm gonna deal about 150 with each iteration. Maybe closer to 200 by the time the boss actually gets up here. Yeah. Alright, now this run is popping off and I'm very, very happy with where this fight is at. I can trigger feeding on these, but that doesn't really do anything in particular for me. Who needs regen? You might need some regen. Yeah, so let's send some regen here. And some armor here. The torch saves you a little bit of life, even though the jack strips would kill you anyway, but I don't really have a better target for the torch. Alright. A Demon Fiend at 3 cost is not currently playable. Normally we'd play it here, but we have this Imp, which I could just kill. This is also potentially a good turn for a Shroud Spike. The issue is that if I kill this Imp, then I don't have the energy to play the Demon Fiend. I can get an absurd amount of additional attack power on this unit by doing this. I think I'm good with that. Oh man, I didn't even realize that it would increase my fuel that much. Alright, this fight is over. We're done here. Everyone can go home. Robot carries. Yeah, so we'll keep going up to this floor and increasing this. Like, we do not care about these other floors anymore. So let's sacrifice you. I can play 2 morsels up here. The Steelworker is probably worth a decent amount. So let's play you out here. And then rage you, even though the rage dissipates a little bit. Alright, 49 damage on the boss. Don't really care about the middle floor. So it's a question of like morsel miner versus damage shields. I have how much fuel? I have 19 fuel up to 21 fuel. Yeah, let's make sure you just live. Yeah, things are good here. Boss is dead. Let's make the boss dead a little quicker. I guess the feast is good. So in, I think, 3 turn cycles, our construct killed the boss. Doubling the armor on a unit is interesting. I don't know that I actually have enough armor to make that worth it. I do not. So I think we're just gonna skip here. Now, do I take the Light of Seraph or Herzl's compound here? So I do want space earlier, but it may be more important to draw through my deck faster so that I have a more likely chance of getting my setup going. Like, the faster I draw through the deck, the sooner I find my, what is it, spatial something? No, Crucible extension to make everything work out. Alright. So next time around, what am I doing? I think I want to frame these 2 rounds together. I don't know how many more cards I need to remove. Removing torches and shade splitters are totally fine. As far as duplicating goes, duplicating the morsel maker is certainly interesting. I think my spells are strong. I can get some improvements by going this... Oh, hold up. Oh, I was looking at the wrong floor. Okay, I see what I did. Where is my train? My train is here. It appears that I have made my decision. +2 on the middle floor. Versus if I summon the second unit during a turn, gain 3. This is going to help with setup turns, but is like not going to do much later on in the fight. Maybe the early setup matters though. Like, it helps me out with Demon Fiends quite a bit. And I really want my additional space on the top floor because I want as much time as possible before enemy units get up there. Alright, I will take the Hell's Banners, and now we duplicate something. Not you. It could just be Crucible expansion, because that's like so central to my strategy. The Shroud Spike is insane though, for fueling up my creature. I'm going to duplicate the Crucible expansion. Now we'll upgrade you. Yeah, we'll just take the additional space. I don't know that I need the coins that badly where I should risk that. I think the deck is powerful enough to, but I just like 100% feel safer not doing that. Alright, so set up, set up, set up, set up, and someone can get some regen. The regen is not, like, this is not where we want to draw this card, and so it's possible that I should like save this for the next iteration through the deck. It's also possible that like this card doesn't matter a lot and I should just consume it now as to not draw it later. Alright, you're not actually taken care of yet. That's the only way that I kill you this turn, which is super unfortunate for assorted reasons. That was not the only way that I killed you this turn. I could have done this and then Shroud Spiked it. Shroud Spiking this gives me my initial burst of fuel for this. Alright. It also lets me do this, so I think in a roundabout way I ended up discovering a turn that was like totally reasonable and fine. And now the question is, like, do I want to play you in front here and have you take 20, 40 something damage? No. No, I don't. The jackstrips are not quite going to take care of you. And I'm definitely playing Demon Fiend over Torching. Ooh, second thing in a turn. Okay. Second thing in a turn means that I can torch one of these, so Jackstrip kills it when it goes up a floor. Oh, but you slayed something and you gained some life. Alright. So I should have done that on the middle one. Alright. Misplay made. I've learned from it. You sweep? No. Multi-strike. Alright, so, like, Morsel Maker definitely goes there. When I play this, I'm going to get 2 energy, so I should play this. Now we're up to 4, and I can Demon Fiend on this floor, while also really fueling up my mana. Yes. Yes. Still yes, even though it's lifesteal. Wow, I'm taking a lot of damage on that unit here. I should have torched. I did not anticipate that I would be taking that much damage. I have lifesteal on it, so like as long as I don't die before it attacks, I'm fine. Alright, let's scroll up and take a look at that. Oh no, you're dying as of right now. So I need to place something in front to soak up some hits. Or otherwise... Alright, I should probably like map this out carefully. Or I can just jam Prismal Dust, and that takes care of everything as well. 4 damage shields means that my life steal is going to heal me for 78. Okay, things are okay now. Actually, it might heal for 150. I'm not 100% sure how that works. I can also piercing kill this. Yeah. All right, I'm good with that. Okay. So, now, what am I doing with the rest of the turn? How are things looking? Things are dangerous down here. I could damage shield and keep you alive. I'm not sure that that's something that I'm going to do, though. It may just be I put a whole bunch of damage shields on this and make my stand on this top floor. Yes. I can also just like work on getting more fuel and morsels, but I think damage shield here is okay. Like now you're back to a good life total. Things are relatively healthy. I'm realizing that I would really like a little bit of sweeping damage of some nature. Alright, so let's look at other floors and see what's up. Don't love what's going on other floors. So, like, let's summon you. You soak up a bit. Let's kill you with piercing. And that still makes this floor kind of rough. I guess I can put a Morsel Miner in front and soak up another hit. Nope, that was not enough. I guess should have mapped that out. Rage 4 and Armor 5 will change things, though. So you're hitting for 5, killing this. You're hitting for 5, killing this. You're not attacking. You're hitting for 12 and then 12. So if I armor you up... No, I just can't math. Alright. Not happy with myself there. I missed slay triggers. I missed slay triggers. Okay. Is top floor fine? Top floor is fine. Okay, so I get to play 2 good morsels up here, and I have plenty of energy. So nothing with incant. So we can go play this, sacrifice this for better morsels. Alright, so damage shield 100%. Then we'll morsel miner here. You are the problem here. Alright, so now things are living. I can block 13 by putting these in front, or I can torch you. Yeah, now I'm fine with taking 8 to... Well, actually this is probably more optimal, oddly enough. Alright. Seems like this fight is pretty much over at this point. So like we Crucible extension here to set ourselves up for later a little bit better. We'll take some armor here. We'll take some rage here. That almost gets you dead. How does Feast change things? Does that increase your power enough to kill you? No, it's real close. So the power will take 1 hit? No, we've got that dazed thing, right? Yeah, so you're going to get hit for 35, which no. Yeah, which exactly is what I'm looking for. And we can just, like, hit something else down here for some reason. Alright, all in all, really happy with this fight. Yeah, I don't even know that we try to save you at all. We would rather deal piercing damage, kill you. You're gonna get dead to jack strips, I think. Yeah, you attack first, you deal 26 to this and kill it. Yeah, you're dead to jack strips. How many morsel slots do I have? Alright. Plenty of morsel slots. So, like, you can go here. And let's cannibalize you. Yes, damage shield, I am in. Life steal, I am in. Bonus life. So we have 6 units there, so this is going to be the maximum units. And then I guess I can just torch you. And I can put this in front and do it. Not a tiny bit. Are you sweeping? Oh, you trample. Okay. Boss should be very dead. Boss is very dead. Alright, I like my odds for winning this run as a whole. I think we're pretty much where I need to be. I don't think any of this is necessary. However, engine upgrade on lower floors to give me energy for later is super interesting, and so I'm going to take that and see where that ends up. Inferno similarly is interesting if I'm like largely giving up floor 1. Yeah, I'm good with that. Like, there might be a weird time where we end up killing a Demon Fiend or something with it, but all in all, I'm good. Alright, so this is our last floor. Upgrading that Inferno is cool. I really... I don't super need to remove cards. Removing the Shade Splitters and Torches is pretty valuable, though. Yeah, maybe we will go right. Torch, and I don't know, like the 2 damage is so irrelevant at this point. Let's look here first. Units entering with armor is totally reasonable. It's not the most exciting shop as it stands now. Is there anything that's super good with consume gone? Shroud Spike and engine upgrade are really interesting. I think if we're gonna go this random Inferno plan, then making it actually castable is probably good. Hornbreak with a greater degree of piercing is fine. Playing this repeatedly is super cute. Maybe too cute. I think I'll just like take the free roll. And then the question is like, which shop am I re-rolling from here? Like, this is okay, not insane, but okay. It's really interesting with the morsels in particular, because they might actually survive a hit. I'm gonna re-roll this shop. This is okay. I'm gonna re-roll the other shop. Like, I want to know what my options are. Okay. So what would I want every single turn? Inferno every turn is cute. But, like, gets noticeably worse as the fight goes on. Feast is very good early on. Alright, like, by the other token, what would I want cheaper? Inferno again, so that when I do want to play it. Yeah, alright, let's do that. And bounce it back and forth between shops a lot. Let's take this. Go back here. And then I don't know how insane holdover on any of these is. Like, on Feast, it's super interesting because it lets me potentially eat more for my top floor. Maybe that's fine. Let's try that out. And what gets a little tiny bit of magic power? Alright, Hornbreak, you get a treat. Alright, the first spell card played each turn gets consumed. Alright, I need to be cognizant of that and not forget that. Because I wouldn't want to get rid of my holdover spell, for example. Alright, not the best set of starting cards, but like not the end of the world. So I think we'll start setting up a floor 2. Like so. Probably with you in front. That gives us some bonus energy, which I can then use to just like deal with that, and then I can take out one of these. I don't want more self-mutilations. And I think I just consumed that, whereas I really wanted to consume the Shade Splitter. Alright, talked about being cognizant of it, and then immediately didn't think about it because it was my third card played. Alright, so you're happening. You're happening. I get bonus energy, and now I'm going to purge one of these 2 spells. The Hornbreak is best early on and worst late, so I would like to nuke this. Now I can play the Steelworker here, which immediately dies, so it should have been played on floor 2. Strong play, Phil. Alright, what is getting fortified? Probably you. This is the long-term plan. And I think in this fight, like, we are making it to 3rd floor. I also think a lot of the enemy units are going to regularly make it to the 3rd floor. Alright, I need space up here to really start popping off. Alright. So I can play you, and then armor you up as well. We're again walking into this space issue again. I would like to just no. If this is going to get consumed anyway, I should just play it out on you, and then that frees up these other things to actually be castable. Meaning I can inflame and armor you, and call it a turn. I would say current situation is fine to good, but not insane. Alright, now things are looking a little better. So this consumes anyway, so we'll play this first on this floor, because that was the whole plan. I am very glad I didn't misclick that. Alright, so we shrink that floor. We Crucible Extension here, which does nothing this time through, but will do significant amounts later. We purge this, we purge this, we go ahead and feast, just so that we can redraw it next turn. And now we're just going to look to feed this unit as much as is human robotically possible. Alright, so we take our extra space. Hold on. Does Space Prism or Crucible Extension normally consume? I believe Space Prism does. Alright, Space Prism does, so we play that first. Then we play Crucible Extension. Now we can, I guess, feast. It doesn't really do anything. Well, I guess it means that these aren't attacking. So, like, it's just worse, too. Alright, so we'll purge this. We'll purge this. We'll Inferno away this floor. And I guess we cast this just to continue redrawing it. Like, the redraw doesn't necessarily look good this turn, but, like, in future turns where, like, we have more room built up and we have the additional morsel units, it is going to be relatively important. Alright, so much energy. What would I like to consume? Prismal Dust consumes anyway. This is a lot of damage shields. How much fuel do I have? 4. I would like more fuel than just that. I think I'm good with this going. So, like, we'll cannibalize this unit. Get a whole bunch of morsels. Go... like, yeah. Trigger feeding. Now we can do some morsel makers and really stack up everything on this floor. Alright, this is feeling good. And now at this point we basically ignore every other floor. It is only the top floor that matters. And everything else we do incidentally on the middle or bottom floors is gravy. I guess if there are 3 things in the same place, it is awkward for me, admittedly. Because, like, he only gets to kill 2 things at a time. So, like, you're gonna go here. I am good with consuming a Shade Splitter. You maybe should have gone here. I should have thought this about through more. I didn't realize you were gonna die. I could also just, like, consume the Fortify at this point. The armor stacks are probably less relevant than the fuel. No, the play was consume the packed morsels, since, like, that's going to be gone anyway. But, like, our demon train is headed by this guy, and he's doing serious work. I can throw a morsel in front of this to keep it alive. That may be worth something. Actually, why is this dying? So this is 8, 16, plus 5 is 21. What am I missing? Oh, Extinguish is what I'm missing. Alright, so I play this. Yeah, I can exactly keep this alive. Well, not exactly, but you know. Keeping this alive and then getting in another hit for 93 is worth a damage shield here. Alright, so easy play at this point is probably consuming this. Like, we probably have enough room at this point where these are good. Now, is it time to just fuel this up? I think so. I think I'm good with taking a decent amount of fire damage. To just really buff this. And I want to do the one that is attack power. He says as he clicks on the one that gives health. So that was actually quite bad, because now this gets a good number of hits on the pyre. I hope that that misclick did not just cost me the run. I'm gonna be so disappointed if I just killed myself. Alright, I didn't. Good. I would have been upset. Alright, so everything here is dead. Fantastic. Without thinking about it, this is the turn to consume Inferno. We are not going to Inferno our top floor away. And then everything else just gets played on this floor. Yeah, we're still good with triggering that and redrawing it next turn. Oh, now everything is not dead. Oh, the little hits mattered there. Alright, so rage means that both of you are dead. But the daze kills you. Alright, everything is fine. Everything is fine. And I assume our boss is just... No, our boss is not dead. Okay, do need to think. So, we are playing these out. We're going to play our entire hand. So I guess now there's this question of, like, how does playing Feast change the math? The math is not favorable currently. So, triggering these increases my stats on my front unit by quite a bit, and my front unit is dying. Well, I guess the way to look at it is, like, I'm losing the run if I don't cast Feast, so let's see what casting Feast does. I have a feeling it's worse, yeah. And that's unfortunate. I thought we had this one. Alright, maybe I should have paid a little bit more attention to my lower floors early on in this run. I was so convinced that we had things. Unfortunate. Alright, bittersweet to lose that one there, but it is what it is. What did episode length look like? Almost 2 hours. So normally I think if I lose a run, I'm just going to like call that the run for the day, unless I like lose on the first fight or something like that, because this video ended up being very long. But if you watched it to the end, I hope that you enjoyed it. Have a great rest of the day, folks, and I'll see you again next week for more Monster Train.